Hello and welcome to Die Rolling. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and today I'm playing Darkest Dungeon. And we're going for the second mission this time. Hopefully, this time around, we're not going to have anybody die, and we're not going to make too many mistakes, especially shuffling the initiative cards. So, yeah, join me at the table and we'll see how well my team get on. So here we are for the next descent into the Darkest Dungeon. And just to give you a few reminders about what we're up against. So currently we're up against the Prophet. And this guy's pretty annoying because he has this ability where when we enter the dungeon, our heroes suffer 2 stress straight away. So I'm going to increase the stress of all my guys in just one moment. But what is the quest? Well, we are currently on the Rising Threat quest. Time passes and the demons grow stronger, casting a heavier shadow upon your very existence. That's why you were tasked to enter the ruins and cull their numbers, putting them to the sword. So curio rooms always have battles. When spawning monsters in curio rooms, draw 1 level 2 monster. Now we've not come across any level 2 monsters yet, so this is all to look forward to. So last time we played Darkest Dungeon, my Crusader died. And he's out of the game now, that's it. There's no bringing him back. Which is a shame. So I replaced him with the Hellion. So let's go through each of the characters that we're currently playing with, and I'll also move down their stress as we go. So our Hellion is currently on 2 stress there. She has the Iron Swan ability, which has got a range of 2, targets 1 creature. A crit of 1, it will do 12 damage. A 9, up to 9 will do 7 damage. If it bleeds, 1 enemy to target, sorry, 1 range, 1 enemy to target, critical does 8 damage, regular does 5 damage, and you get 2 tokens for bleed. I really find it hard to phrase this. I must figure out a way to do that. And then we have the Wicked Hack as well. So range of 0, critical does 12 damage, and regular does 7 damage. So yeah, pretty good. It's like the Iron Swan, but it's closer. Next, we have the Highwayman, and he starts off with a couple of stress. Now, unfortunately, he has the worries, which means every time he gains a stress, he's getting an additional stress. So that's 1 more stress. Now, maybe I should have done 4 stress in total. I don't know. But I don't think I do. I then have to give him 2 damage because he's so worried about everything. So he's not starting off well. He also has a couple of quirks. So he's a bad gambler. Whenever he rolls a 10, he is going to be getting damage. And then he's got the Fear of the Unknown there, and I'll have a quick look in the rulebook to see what that exactly means. But that's I think if he gets a Curio symbol come up during his exploration phase, his stress increases, which will give him the worries, which will then cause him a lot of pain. He has Tracking Shot, Grape Shot, Blast, and Open Vein. I had them all last time, so if you've not seen that video, if you've not seen our previous video, I will explain it as we go through, so don't worry. We have got our Vestal. 2 stress there. No quirks, no diseases, nothing like that. But she's starting off with a better ability here, Divine Grace 2, because she went to the blacksmith last time. So it gives her a better healing, and I think we're definitely going to need that this time around. And our Plague Doctor, 2 stress there. We got rid of his quirk, so he's back to his regular self. And we don't have that much money at all, so I'll go back and see how much money we do have, but it is not 12 because we spent quite a bit. So yeah, here's our Plague Doctor. So that's our cast and crew. We've got a value 5 for our torch in the dungeon, and this is what our dungeon is looking like. So we're looking for at least 3 curio rooms. Every curio room we clear, we get an XP. XP helps us level up, but we are going to need money as well to be able to level up, and we did spend quite a lot of it. So we have 6 gold left. Okay, so let's do our provision roll. Let's see what beautiful things we have to assist us in our quest. Okay, so we've got 1 food, 2 food. We've got 1 bandage, we've got 1 torch, we've got 2 potions, 1 tool, and a DD. We're going to move that DD to a torch. Okay, so that's all the provisions we have to last us. Oh, another 2 torches to last us through this descent. Okay, so we're going to start off our exploration. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice for each of our characters. Start with Hellion because she is in the front space. Oh man, everyone's hungry. Okay, so some pretty disastrous rolls to begin with. So we'll get rid of the blank to begin with. Our Hellion has hunger. Consume 1 food or take 2 damage. We're just going to take 2 damage at this point. The Plague Doctor is going to use one of our food provisions to get rid of one of those. And then he's going to take 2 damage. Well, actually, no, he'd be on 6, 7, 8. He'd be on 8 hit points. So no, he's going to use both the food. So he's eating all of that up. Okay, so the Highwayman. So whenever the hero is about to interact with a curio, he increases his stress by 1. So we're going to, so he's going to have to do that. So we're going to use one of the torches, though, to negate the bad effects that will come with this curio. So he takes 1 stress because he's got the worry. He takes an additional stress and also takes 2 damage. And let's see what curio he found. An Eldritch Altar. So he does get 10 gold. You feel a shiver down your spine as you behold this Eldritch Altar. It has a small coin pouch on its base, but as you touch its stony facade, a nauseating feeling overcomes you. Wow. And then we've got a Stressful Darkness. We are just going to lose one of our torch to get rid of that. And we'll do the same again for Vestal. And then she's going to take 2 damage because she's hungry. And thus ends the exploration phase. We now see what we have found here. It's a curio room. So curio rooms always have battles. When spawning monsters in curio rooms, draw 1 level 2 monster. Let's get to the battlefield. Okay, so I pulled out the treasure chamber. So in A, you can loot the chest, spend 2 actions here to draw a trinket once per encounter. And B, hide and heal. When no monsters are here, spend 1 action and suffer 2 stress to remove all wounds. Well, this could be good, or it could be bad. So we've got some treasure there. No other treasure, even though it's a treasure area. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got our aggressive stance over there. We've got our range stance there. We've got our defense stance, and then we've got our support. I think that's the name of all of them. Who knows? Right, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to draw a level 2 monster first. And we have a gargoyle. So it's going to go to the front. Speed is 7. It's got speed of 3, armor and health of 7. At the front, we're going to be rolling a dice. So you could do a flurry of claws or a lash of the tail. Now for level 1 cards, we have a brigand cutthroat. It's going to go towards the front. With a bone arbalist. And we have a pillskin. I feel like I've not shuffled that up enough, but hey, that's what we've got. So let's get them all out on the board and see what the board looks like after that. So let's shuffle up our cards, our initiative cards, and make sure we've got them the right way around. Which we do. Shuffle these up, and we're going to see what happens. First, who's going to be going first? Okay, so it's us, so the Hellion's going first. Okay, so it can attack the Pillskin. Pliskin even. Pillskin. And it could do a total of 12 damage if it managed to really hit it. Let's go for that. Let's see if we can make it bleed. If it bleeds, we can kill it. So we got a 5. The Pliskin has a dodge of 1, which means we had to get, with the if it bleeds, we had to get 8 or under to be able to hit it. We did that, so we do 5 damage to it, and it gets 2 tokens of value to bleed. So when he activates, it's going to be taking some additional damage because we've managed to cut it. And the Hellion is going to move 2 spaces up this way. Next, we have, the Plague Doctor. Now, the unfortunate thing about our Gargoyle friend over there is he's going to be taking less damage because he's got protection on him. So every damage we do to him is going to be halved, rounded up. So the most we could do to him is 4 damage. And he's immune to bleed, so we can't even make him bleed. So let's get him some Noxious Blast. Let's try and do that. So we're going to try and do a Noxious Blast with our Plague Doctor. So Noxious Blast, it's got a crit of 1. So we've currently got a crit of 2 at the moment because we're currently in, we've got the +1 down here. So we just need to get, what's his dodge? His dodge is 2. So if you get above 7, we miss. Wish me luck. We got a 1. That's the best thing I could hope for. So it normally does 4 damage, but that's going to be halved. So he has 2 damage going through to him. And he gets 2 level 4 blight tokens on there. I'm not quite sure with the protection whether it's going to be halving the damage coming through from this, because this isn't technically an attack. I'm going to play for this particular run through that is counted as an attack, so it will only do 2 damage each round for him, just in the interest of fairness, I guess. So we've got 1 action left as the Plague Doctor, and he's got a speed of 3. So we're going to get him to run down here. Okay, so who's next? We have another hero. So it's the Highwayman. So the Highwayman, he can do all of his attacks. So we're going to move 2 spaces here. We're going to try and attack the Brigand. So we're going to try and do a tracking shot, maybe? We'll do a Grape Shot Blast. And it's a miss. Now we're on to the monsters. Yep. The Gargoyle activates. And we got a 3, which means he's going to do number 1, which is a Flurry of Claws. He's going to go to the most crowded area. And then he's going to do some damage. But there is no crowded area. See, he's going to go into this space here. Because this is the first stance. So he's going to attack there. Let's see how he gets on with that. Oh, and he did take 2 damage from Blight at the start of his turn. So he got a 7. His accuracy on that is 9, so he does hit. He does 4 damage to the Hellion. And it also debuffs the Hellion. So the Hellion, if you're trying to do a critical attack against the Hellion, it's a bit easier now. Okay, so on to the next one. The next monster, so the Brigand Cutthroat, and he is in the shielded position, so we're rolling a dice. And a 6 means he is going to do a number 1, which is a Slice and Dice, most crowded area. So he'll stay where he is. Well, actually, he's going to move away 1 so he can do this. So he's going to move back in there, and then he's attacking. It's got an accuracy of 8 for this. We've got a 5, so yeah, that'll do it. And does 4 damage to the Hellion. So the Hellion only has 4 hit points left. And she gets another 2 another 2 debuff tokens added to her sheet. Next, it is us. Okay, let's see if we can use some Divine Grace here to help people out. So the Vestal's going to move there, and she's going to try and heal our friend, the Hellion. And we got a 3. A crit for this is a 3. So it does 7 health back. That's great. And finally, we've got 2 more to activate. The Pliskin activates. And he's in a ranged position, so he's going to do a venomous gleek. He's going to attack the furthest character. So he's going to move into this space and attack over here. Ooh, that's a 3. And that is going to do 1 damage against our Vestal, but also give her a bit of blight as well. So she gets 2 value blights on her. Finally, we have the Bone Arbalist, and he's going to be attacking. He's in the support role, which means he's going to be doing a quarrel. He's going to go to the marked or the furthest being this guy over here. So his speed is 2. His range is 2, so he can hit the Plague Doctor from where he is. And he got a 10. So I said he could hit the Plague Doctor, but actually he misses the Plague Doctor. And that's the end of the first round. We get a round 2. Take all of these in, and hopefully I don't botch the shuffle like I have previously. Okay, so we're going to shuffle this. We've got them all the right way around, yep. Okay, so shuffle this, and we're hoping we're going to be going first. No, not luck, it won't be us. And it is not us, it is the Gargoyle. So he takes a further 2 damage, and he no longer has any more blight on him. He's only got 1 hit point left. So anybody who hits him now is going to do a decent amount of damage on him, finishing him off. So the Gargoyle, we roll the dice, see what he's up to. He got a 10, which means he's going to be doing a Lash of the Tail. So the closest one within range 1. So closest is in this space here, so he's going to move that way, and then he's going to attack in here. And he got a 3, which means, let's have a look. So he's targeting the Hellion. The Hellion has got 2 of the tokens on there. So basically this is a crit. So it does 4 damage. She also gets 2 stun markers, which means she's essentially going to miss an entire go. Well, she misses 1 action each round while she's got them. And she also gets a push 1. So we're going to push her into that space there. And also, she gets pushed back on the tracker there, which means the Plague Doctor is now in the very first position, which means he's only got 1 thing he can actually physically do now. Okay, next we have one of our guys, and it's the Plague Doctor. And he can do an incision. So we're going to get him to run over to the Gargoyle and try and slice and dice him up. And we got a 5 here. This dice I'm going to change because this 5 isn't as clear as some of the other 5s on here, which is a bit of a shame. So 5 there. That's enough to do damage, and it kills the Gargoyle. Okay, right, so the next one we have, it's our Hellion. So our Hellion, here she is. So she gets rid of 1 stun, 1 of these, and 1 of these. And that's the end of her go, because these basically stop 1 action each, because they're both getting rid of 1 action. She essentially has no actions this round, or at least that's how I'm playing that. If that's wrong, let me know in the comments below. Next, we've got the Brigand Cutthroat. So he's, we have to roll again to see what he's going to be doing. And he got a 9, so he's going to be trying to do number 1, which is slice and dice, so the most crowded area. So there isn't one, but he's going to probably go for the closest person. So he's going to move there, and he's going to attack. Oh, who's actually, the Plague Doctor's in the stance, actually, in the aggressive stance. So he's going to attack the Plague Doctor. Got a 4 on that, which is going to hit. So it does 4 damage to the Plague Doctor. And he's now got 2 debuffs on him. Next, it's the Pliskin. Pliskin takes 2 damage. It is still alive because it is currently bleeding out. And it's going to attack the Highwayman that's in the same space as him. Got a 7, which is enough. It does 4 damage to the highwayman. And it also applies 3 level 2 blights. Okay, next is one of us. So the highwayman gets to go. The highwayman can do everything is on his list. So he's going to do a grape shot blast first into this area here, which he misses, of course. And then he's going to try and open up. Well, actually, when that activates, that's going to die. So he's going to try and do that again. This time he got an 8. So his accuracy for this... Oh, sorry, and he takes 2 damage because of the blight. So, to do a grape shot blast, he has to get an 8. However, the brigand cutthroat and the bone arbalist both dodge it. So both of his attacks were useless. And then we get the bone arbalist. And he's going to quarrel, so he's going to attack the furthest character, and everyone is around him. So he's going to have to move back 1 space and attack our Plague Doctor, who's in the current first position. The stance of aggression. And he misses again. So clearly he needed eyes to do that, and he's a skeleton, so he has no eyes. So it's the Vestal's turn, and everyone is in a lot of pain. So we're going to go for, do you know what? We're going to try something different. We're going to try Dazzling Light, okay? So this should, if we succeed, should blind this guy, which means he will be stunned next turn and not activate. So it might mean we've got 1 less person to worry about. Wish me luck. We got a 2, which is a crit. So that does 4 damage to him. He also becomes stunned, which means he'll miss his entire activation next round. And the torch goes up 1. Okay, that's the end of another round. So we're going to go to the next round. I just want to show you what we're looking at here. So the Vestal's got two blights on them. Pretty stressed out, a couple of hit points, but nothing too bad to worry about. However, over here, our Plague Doctor has got 10 hit points. He's only got 11 in total. And he can only do an incision at the moment of where he is in the current stance. So 1 more hit, and yeah, he's going to be on death's door. Over here, we have the Hellion. He's on 7 hit points. And yeah, it's going to be stunned. I just realized the Hellion actually only had 1 stun on there. It was 2 debuffs. So actually the Hellion should have had an activation. So the Hellion could have done this. So I'm going to rewind this, guys. The Hellion would actually have been able to do that. I messed that up. So the Hellion gets 1 free attack here to basically see if it can make this guy bleed. And if it does, great. Okay, so if it bleeds, does 5 damage, which actually will kill him. So we got 1 less guy to worry about. Sorry about that, guys. I am still learning this game as I go through, and I am likely to forget some things with the tokenography, which isn't a real word. And a highwayman has got 10 damage, and the 2 blight is going to take him to, well, the end of the line. I forgot I had provisions. I could have used a potion to get rid of that blight, but I had forgotten I had them, so that's on me. Ugh, my poor guys. I was hoping not to have another death, but I think I'm very close to having another death in here. Okay, so our first one is an enemy. So the Pliskin activates, and the blood loss is enough to kill it. So the Pliskin is gone. No more Pliskin to worry about. Next, we have our Plague Doctor. They discard one of their debuff tokens. They're going to interact with this on here, and so we get to roll for double gold, or we can choose a provision. We're going to roll for double gold. Let's be selfish. 20 gold. That'll do. That'll pay for someone's coffin. So that was the first action there. And then he's just going to move 1, 2, 3 down here. hiding away. Next, we have the Hellion. So I think it's right we get the Hellion in to kill this guy off, because if she can kill off, then we don't have to worry so much about, yeah, we don't have to worry about our guys bleeding out here. Oh, amazing. That will kill it off. That does 12 damage. So she just absolutely shatters the bone arbalist, and we've managed to complete this particular combat. Now someone has to pick up a curious, and we're going to pick up, we're going to have let's have the Plague Doctor do it. Plague Doctor's going to do it, but we're going to spend one of our torches to get rid of the negative effects on this. So another Eldritch Altar. An altar dedicated to unholy abominations. Just by staring at it, you feel your worst self resurfacing, albeit with a new purpose. You see a small bundle on its base, and as you touch its stony facade, you realize it has been coated with a toxin. We would have got 1 stress, we would have got a quirk of some kind, we would have got some poison, some blight damage, but we just take the positive effect of having 2 buffs. Now we've done that curious room, we can officially leave the dungeon if we like, but it's a bit too soon to do that. We're instead going to be spending some of the rest points we've got to treat our wounds. So we currently have 12 points here. So we're going to do 5 on the Highwayman, 5 on the Plague Doctor, and we're going to reduce. We're going to take 1 off the Vestal and 1 off the Hellion. So that's 12 rest points used. At this point, we're going to use our potion to get rid of all the blight there's on the Highwayman. And another potion to get rid of all the blight there's on the Vestal. And we're going to carry on our exploration phase. So they're moving up the corridor again. And as far as I'm aware, you cannot change these around unless you're in battle. So otherwise, I would have changed these guys over. Never mind. So our Plague Doctor has got a trap and a hunger. We've got a rubble and a blank for the Hellion. We've got a blank and a curio. Oh, it's a Sod's Law. That is the one that he got. And the Vestal gets a Stressful Dark and a curio. Okay, so starting with the trap, we're going to have to roll a dice and let's see what we get. Oh, that is a crit. Well done, everybody. So that's going to do 4 damage to our Plague Doctor. So he's on 9 damage now. And this is going to take him to 11. Which means he's on death's door now. So we're going to have to quickly use our bandage to heal him of 1 hit point. So he's not quite at death's door, but he's 1 hit point off being at death's door. So we'll get rid of these blanks just completely. The Hellion is going to be taking some damage, trying to climb over the rubble. So she takes 1 damage and 1 stress. The Highwayman encounters one of these. So because he's encountered a curio, he has a fear of the unknown, which means he gets +1 stress. Whenever he gets +1 stress, or any plus stress, he gets an additional stress. And 2 damage. Man, the worries are the worst. And he also gets a curio card we can't do anything about. So an Iron Maiden, a rusty Iron Maiden stands against the wall, clasps shut. You feel tense as you try to open the devilish contraption. Alas, you pin yourself onto one of the spikes by accident. You curse your luck as you break free, but luckily you notice a trinket stashed in the empty iron coffin. +1 stress, so that's actually +2 stress and +2 damage. He gets a negative quirk, which means he's fragile, so every time he takes damage he's getting +1. He also gets 3 value 1 bleeding tokens. But he does get a trinket. Scout without suffering any stress. Well, that is great. And we've got stressful darkness here. So we're just going to put the fire down one rather than have her consume any of that, because she's got a curio to concern herself with. So, an heirloom chest, a chest with a family sigil. As you open the lock, you hear a click followed by the prick of a poisonous dart. In the chest, you find a small pouch of coins. So we get an additional stress. We get 3 1 blight tokens. She gets 2 debuffs. But 5 coin. Was it worth it? Who knows? Right, let's see what's in this one. Another curio room. Okay, so I think after this, we're going to have to pull ourselves out. So the curio room we have found is a beacon of light. Stressful darkness. The corridors are too dark. Heroes ending their turn here suffer 1 stress. Beacon of light. Heroes ending their turn here recover 1 stress. So if we end up in this top location there, that'll be good. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. Okay, so we get there's 1 treasure chest there. And then let's put all our guys down. So we've got them and we've got them. Them. Oh, nope, sorry. Those guys there, those guys there. Shield is Hellion. Support is Vestal. Homan is ranged. And then we've got Plague Doctor in front. Attaboy, Plague Doctor. Let's see what we're coming across in this darkest dungeon. So we have a cultist brawler. So the cultist brawler, he's resistant to stun tokens. And yeah, he looks pretty badass. And he's going to go towards the front. But I forgot, before we do that, we have to draw a level 2 card. And we have found a ghoul. This is going to be the first one we've had, which is actually a double board. I do not fancy my chances against double borders. So let's take a look at this chap. So the ghoul, he's resistant to pushes or pulls and also debuffs. He's immune to be stunned, so you can't stun him. He's got 1 dodge. He's got a protection and 26 health points. Oof. And he's going to be doing a ton of damage to us. We are not getting out of this alive. So here is our ghoul. Then we have our cultist brawler. He's coming in the range section. And then finally, we have a brigand fusilier. I did actually forget that our Hellion has got a special ability as well, that she gets to roll this at the start of her turn. So, whoops. Hopefully I'll remember to do it this time around. Okay, so let's shuffle up those initiative cards and see how we get on. And I'm fairly certain we're all going to die. Okay, so let's shuffle these up. I'm such a terrible shuffler. And we have our Plague Doctor going first. So, Plague Doctor, he gets rid of 1 debuff token and 1 buff token. He's going to change stance with the Hellion for 1 action. And he can't actually reach. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. So he's running. He's running for it. That was his first action. Next, we've got the Hellion. At the start of a turn, we roll a dice. A 1 to 3, she heals 3 wounds. We got a 6, so that didn't quite work out for us. But never mind. So we're going to get him to, we're going to get her even to attack the ghoul. It's 2 spaces away. We have the Iron Swan, which might help us out here. Let's see how we get on. We've got a 5, so that's definitely a hit to it. The Iron Swan does 7 damage. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Round up is 4, so that's 4 damage on the ghoul. And then she's moving her 2 spaces into there. Next we have our ghouls, so let's see what they're going to be doing. 7. So a skull toss, the furthest, range of 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's going to move there, and then attacking the Hellion for that attack it did. Got a 10, so it misses. Amazing. I'm going to take every little win that I can in this game. So we now have the Cultist Brawler. And the Cultist Brawler's in the range, so it's going to do a stunning, a stumbling, scratch even. So we're going to go for the closest person, which is going to be the Plague Doctor. Got a 7, which is not enough. So it misses. Great. Well, more of that, please. Next, we have our Highwayman. And if he takes any stress, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So we're going to get him to move for 2. And he's going to move another 2. And that's the end of his go, just to get, so he's not going to get any stress. Next, we have the Brigand Fusilier go. And he's going to do blanket fire into this space here. And yeah, he's hit. Neither of them have a debuff, so it's not enough damage. But it's worth noting that the Highman did have a bleed token on him, so he should have taken an additional damage. Okay, so it's going to be doing some damage on these guys. 2 damage on both of them, and 2 debuffs on them both. And our Highwayman has just got onto Death's Door. So I don't believe we need an extra one because there's only 3 monsters in this one. So we now have the Vestal go. If I'm wrong with that, please let me know, guys, in the comments below. But I'm fairly certain they don't get to go again, but who knows. So she's going to take 1 damage from the Blight token she has and remove 1 of her debuff tokens. And then she's going to use Judgment on the Ghoul. And she got a 2, which is a crit. So it does 8 damage, so that's going to be 4 damage on him. And she gets to heal 2 hit points off of herself for it as well. Which is pretty nice. Then she's going to cast her Divine Grace on the Plague Doctor. And she got an 8, which actually is enough to do it. So she gets 5 hit points cured off of him. And that's the end of round 1. I just realised that the Highman's on Death's Door, and he could essentially die this round. I should have healed him. That should have been my priority. Oh, man alive. Well. I'm still getting used to this game. So we've got the Ghoul first. Let's see what the Ghoul's up to. Oh, that's the wrong dice. Can I keep that result? So what's he up to? 10. So he's going to be doing a 3, which is a Howl to the most crowded area, which is this one here. Let's see what happens when he does this. He gets a 1, which is a crit. It means it does 1 damage to both of the characters in there. So the Highwayman now has to roll. The Highwayman's dead. But for the Hellion, so she's had 1 damage. And the torch goes down by 1, so everyone gains 1 stress. Plus everyone gets 2 stress, who was in that area. So that's, once again, our Hellion. And she also gets 1 disease, which is bulimic. When the hero consumes a food provision, they discard another food provision and suffer 1 stress. Oh, so that Howl really did affect her. Okay, so next we've got the Cultist Brawler. And the Cultist Brawler is ranged, so they're going to try to rend for the old gods? No, Stumbling Scratch. 6, which, haha, misses. Next we have the Hellion. So we roll a dice at the start of her turn. She got a 4. If that was a 1 to 3, she would have healed, but she didn't. Get rid of 1 of these debuff tokens. And then she's going to do an Iron Swan against the Cultist Brawler, and then she's going to try to do an if it bleeds on that chap. So Cultist Brawler, we got a 10, so that's a miss. And then if it bleeds was a 7. Her accuracy is 9 for that, minus the 1 from the Ghoul's dodge. So that does 3 damage to him. So we've done 11 damage to him so far. He also gets 2 bleed tokens of value 2. And as I say, we're playing this, that basically that is going to be doing half damage each round. Whether that's right or not, I do not know. Next we have the Brigand Fusilier coming in. And he's in the support position, so he's doing a blanket fire into this area here. And he misses. He needs a 7 to do it. He actually needs a 6 because the Hellion's got to dodge a 1. Okay, so the Plague Doctor gets rid of one of his buff tokens. And the Highwayman is gone now. So the Vestal's actually in the range position, which might work out well. I don't know. So he's going to try for an incision on this Ghoul. Got a 7. For an incision, he needs 9. And the Ghoul has got a dodge of 1. So yeah, he's fine. He hits for 5 damage, which is 3 damage, plus 2 bleed 2 tokens, which are reduced to 1, as we've said. That might be incorrect. I don't know. I kind of hope it is incorrect. And this is, of course, going to be our Vestal. The Vestal is going to do a... What can she do? She can do a Judgment on him. She takes 1 damage to begin with because she's got Blight. And she removes her debuff token. The Hellion's only got 1 hit point. So we're going to move her into this space here. And she's going to try and do the Divine Grace on the Hellion. And she got a 10. But it's fine because her accuracy is 14. So it does recover 5 hit points for the Hellion. And we're on to round 3 of all rounds. After round 4, we can flee. Which would be nice, won't it? So the Hellion goes first. Rolling a dice, see if she heals. Because of a trinket, she does. She heals 3 points. So she's got 2 hit points worth of damage on her at the moment. She gets rid of her debuff token as well. Right. So that's where they are. Okay, she's going to try and do the same thing last time. She's going to do an Iron Swan against the Cultist Brawler. And she got a 7. The Iron Swan has accuracy of 9. The Cultist Brawler has a dodge of 0. So yeah, it does 7 damage to him. And then she's going to try and do an If It Bleeds against, once again, against the Ghoul. He's the biggest threat. 7. Yep, she does it. So it's going to be 3 damage through to him. 2 more level 2 bleed tokens on him. Okay, so that's the Hellion's go. Next we have the Plague Doctor. Okay, so the Plague Doctor is going to try to do a Noxious Blast against the Cultist. Got a 5, that'll do it. So it only does 2 damage to him, but adds 2 level 4 Blight tokens on there. So when they activate, they're dead. And then it's going to try to do an Incision on the Ghoul. Got a 2, which is, of course, a crit. So we do 4 damage on the Ghoul. So Ghoul has only got a few hit points left now. 5 hit points left, and it's going to take at least 4 damage next round. Yeah, that's everything for him. So if this is the Vestal, we've got a chance of killing this Ghoul off this round. But of course, it's the Ghoul. So the Ghoul takes 4 damage off of those. He's got 1 hit point left. Is he going to take out somebody before the end of his life? So let's see his behavior. 3 is going to be a rend. So he's going to choose the closest, and it's going to be the Plague Doctor he's trying to rend. He gets a 6, which is enough. So it does 7 damage to the Plague Doctor, which is enough to put him on death's door. He also gets 2 level 3 bleed tokens, and his stress increases by 1. Oof, that's a pretty nasty attack. And now we have the Cultist Brawler. The Cultist Brawler activates 4 damage from a Blight token. Is enough to finish it off. And next we have the Brigand Fusilier. And it's doing a blanket fire, so it's going to shoot into this zone here. It can attack from there. And it misses again. We were very lucky then. So this has got to be the Vestal. She takes 1 damage from her last Blight token that's on her. We don't need to worry about the Ghoul anymore because he's going to die next round. We do need to worry about our poor friend, the Plague Doctor. So she's going to try and heal the Plague Doctor. Divine Grace, so that does 5 hit points for her, for Himian. So, yep, he's back in fighting fit form. And then she's going to try and do a judgment on this guy here. She's got a 9. He's got a dodge of 1, so she misses. And that's the end of that round. I kind of want the Ghoul to go first so that we can just watch him die. Man, it's tough. Okay, so the Hellion is first. So the Hellion is going to attack the Brigand. But before that, she's going to roll for healing, and that doesn't work. She's going to then attack. She got a 2, which is a crit on if it bleeds. So it's 8 damage on him, which is enough to finish him off in one go. And then she's going to move into that space there. She ends her turn there, so she recovers 1 stress. Next, not the Ghoul, not the Ghoul. It's the Ghoul. That's a shame. I was really hoping to get whatever's under there. So the Ghoul activates. It takes the damage, and it is no more. So at this point, we could continue through the dungeon, but, well, actually, no, we've got to do the Curio now. So we don't have any torches. We're going to have the Hellion go for this. So she's picking up the Curio, and she finds a stack of books. A stack of literary treasures is in an unlikely location. Filled with worry and some selfish thoughts, you're relieved to find a trinket. You rise to your feet with your confidence boosted and your morale lifted. So 1 stress, 1 quirk, which is thin-blooded. She gets 2 buff tokens and a trinket. An Archer's Ring, accuracy 2 when in ranged. This trinket would have gone over to the Vestal. So we've cleared 2 Curio rooms, which will get us 2 XP. So we're going to call that a day, and we're going to head to the Hamlet. So another one bites the dust. We're sans a highwayman. And having a look into it, I'm fairly certain I played most of that right, apart from the whole fact that any blight or bleeding conditions, they should not have been reduced by that protection that was on those 2 level 2 monsters. So I would have actually finished them off sooner. Strategically, I am going to make some mistakes in this. I may make the odd rule mistake, but strategically, I'm definitely going to be making some mistakes because I am still learning this game. And yeah, there's a lot to absorb. I think I've learnt my lesson that if my healing character has the ability to heal somebody as opposed to attack something, they should probably be healing somebody. And maybe the highwayman would have lived to fight another day. But yeah, that's it for another episode of Darkest Dungeon. And you can join me next week where I'm going to be, I say next week, whenever the next video is out. You can join me where I will be doing the Hamlet phase. And then we're going to be facing the threat that is the Prophet. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe. Because if you don't subscribe, then I won't keep making these things. Yes, please like and subscribe to us on our various different social medias. And until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.